In this video, we're going to be going over how you would attach your end cap to the end of your gutter run when it comes out of the machine. We're going to be going over how to attach it as well as how to seal it. First thing we need to do is open up a new sealer. Now there might already be a sealer open on the truck, and there should be, as well as it should be already connected to the caulk gun. But if not, if you have to open up a new one, this is how you would do that. So first, you can see here that this tip is pretty wide until about this point it starts to narrow out. So we actually want to take off a good amount of this tip because we want to make sure our seal is pretty thick. So we're going to take our knife here. Wow, this is very dull. Cut that off. All right, and then when you open up a new sealer, you always want to use a gutter spike or designated sealer punchers. So we have already screwdrivers that are in the truck that puncture these. This is just a new one for this example. So I'm going to show you guys, or like I said, you can use a nail, a gutter spike from a gutter that you guys had just taken off. So just want to push this down here like that. Give it a spin. You can see that it's open because you can see this right there is full of sealant. All right. Set this to the side. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take your caulk gun, you're going to press this button right here, pull this all the way open, and then you're going to want to drop your seal in here. So a tip for this, if you just try to push this in here, it'll never go in. You can see there's a little ring down here. You're going to want to drop this in and fit it inside that ring, and then it'll just slide in just like that. All right, and then give it a few pumps. Tighten it up. All right, now this is tight into here. You're good to go. You want to give it 1-2 squirts, and you can see that it starts to come. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can see that it starts to creep up slowly through the tube. We're just going to leave it right there at the end. Set this to the side. All right. We're going to move on to actually attaching our end cap to our gutter run. So a lot of times, what you guys are going to be running into is the gutter will actually be running out of the machine. And then it's going to be attached to the machine when you guys attach the end cap as well as the downspout outlet. The reason for this is because that way it's not going to move around on you. It's a lot more stiff and you can easily connect this. Usually the person that's operating the machine can throw this end cap on there right away, right when it comes out of the machine, and do this. That way it's automatically taken care of. But we try to run big crews, so usually there's a designated guy that prepares all the gutters. If we are running a big job, the gutter will probably be cut off already, and the one guy is going to be prepping while the operator of the machine is going to be running out another run. So a lot of times, like I said, it's going to be run out for the machine, but sometimes you're going to have to do it with this little, when it's already cut off. And it is a little bit more tricky to do it when it's cut off because it's more flimsy and you don't have any, stable ground to push this into. So let's just get into this. It's pretty fairly simple. So right here, you can see there's these grooves. All right, this groove that has the same shape as the end of this gutter run. All right, so what happens is these grooves actually fit into place on here like so, and then it gets, we crimp it down. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. I'm going to try to give you the best view possible, and then I'm going to go back over it. So we're going to start with this end right here. You're going to take this seam, all right, or this groove, and you're going to place it in there, making sure that the bottom one right here is aligned with this one. So pop it in that corner like that, all right? And then you can see that this one tucks in here. You can see that that's on there. Now, I know you can see this little lip, but it's fully on there because it only goes in about 65-70% of the way because it sits like this, all right? So this is going to go on there. You're going to make sure this bottom one is in here. Okay, so push this on, all right, in there. And then you're going to slowly feed this one up here to the top, all right? And what's going to happen is you're going to notice that it always gets stuck on this corner like that, and it's not going to want to go in. So, and the reason for that is because there's this little lip right here, and this lip is actually preventing it from being able to get pushed forward because when it runs out of the machine, it naturally pushes it down a little bit like this. So you're going to want to pop this up right here with your left finger and then push this in, all right, like so, and you'll hear it kind of pop into place there, and you'll see it's not gonna shake around or anything like that. you can push all these in, go around, make sure it's all in like that, like so. All right. And then you're gonna grab your end cap crimps. And these are made by Melco. There's a video on how to use these. I guess here's a video on how to use them again. So first you're gonna push these down. They got a lock system on them, so you're gonna push this down, open it up like that, all right? And then how these work is they actually make little rivets inside of the metal and they punch the two together like that. So the first one that we like to do is this top one right here. Just get this one in place. And it's very important that you use these a certain way. The gray or silver end gets put on the outside, and then this black end goes on the inside. So you're gonna wanna make sure that this is still attached, all right? Grab your end cap crimps, and you're gonna put them right here in this top corner one. Wiggle in there a good bit, and you're gonna push it down fairly much. With these end cap crimps, you know, they're not gonna click, but you're gonna feel it squeeze down there, and you're gonna feel it puncture. And you should see that it makes this little knot right here, all right? This little slice, but that's not gonna make it leak or anything because it's from the outside. We're gonna add another one right here. All right, like that, like so. And then we're gonna add another one on the bottom here, as close down to that corner as we can get it. All right, like that. So now you can see we got this little, 3 slits or rivets right here, and it's pretty much attached. I can pull on this pretty tightly, it's not gonna fall off. And this is a 6-inch gutter right here. So if we're ever doing a 5-inch gutter, you're gonna wanna do 2 on the back, 2 on the bottom, and then 1 on this point and 1 on this point. Since this is a 6-inch, we're gonna do 3 on the side, 3 on the bottom, and 2 on this little wave part right here, all right? Little bend in the gutter. All right, so we're gonna make sure we have the black, again, on the inside, the silver on the outside. Push that in there to the corner. Make sure you're as tight as you can be in there, like that, all right? You're gonna press that down. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3, all right? Give it a good squeeze. It's gonna bend the gutter a bit like that. So what's gonna happen is you can take your end of your crimps, and not a hammer or anything. These are rubber, so it's not gonna chip the gutter. Tap these in like that. Bend these corners in. Use your fingers as well. Push these down like that, all right? Give it a nice seal. And I know it doesn't look the greatest, but this is how it's gonna look 95% of the time. We take some touch-up spray paint after. If it looks like this and you just give it a real quick, spray it down, looks good now, all right? And then we're gonna take our crimps again, and we're gonna again put the black part on the inside of the gutter, or the end cap. And you see where this wave goes right here, then comes in? This first point is where the first notch will go. So we'll go like this, squeeze it down, all right? Like that. It's gonna make a little notch right there. So you wanna make it as close as you can in the right center point of that bow, because otherwise it's gonna mess up the shape of the gutter. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna again push this down, make sure it's still attached. Take our crimps again, black on the inside, gray on the outside. And this one's a little tough because you kind of got to wedge it in there a bit to find that little sweet spot. So just get it in there, all right, like that. Get it in there, give it a squeeze, all right, like that. Give it a good push again, make sure everything's good. Bend these flaps down, all right, like that. And now it's attached. You can see that we can give this a shake, move it around, it's not going anywhere, all right? Like so, okay? Now, the next step is sealing it. All right, so now that we have our end cap attached on here, we're gonna go ahead and seal it. With this sealer, I didn't show you guys this when I opened it, but when you open this, you want to, again, like I said, make sure that you open up it wide enough, because this tip, a lot of times, you can open it too short and not enough, and you're not gonna have enough sealant that comes out, and you're gonna have to go do 2 lines, which that's never efficient. So open it wide enough, and then you also can put it on a little bit of an angle like that. You can see that I did a little bit of an angle. Some guys don't like it like that, so it's just kind of preference. If you pick up the gun and it already has one like that, then kind of sucks, you have to use it. But like I said, I like to put on a little bit of an angle. So we're going to start by going ahead and starting at the top point of this gutter. Now, we want to go up as high as we can up here because sometimes, water can splash. Water's not going to sit this high, hopefully, because if we hung it right, it's not going to get up there. But we're going to start up by adding some sealant on this top part, and then we're going to squeeze it and slowly move our way down here towards this corner. All right, like that. Sorry, let me show you guys a little bit better. All right, and then we're going to add some down here. Go back over real quick, add a little bit more, make sure we got enough. You're going to want to go out and add a line like that, all right? So see how I brought it out a bit? Okay, go ahead and add some down here. Make sure you add a lot. This is the most important point. Okay. Again, put a lot in that corner. Bring it out like so. Then we're going to go ahead and finish it off by going up here. And in this last spot, then you can give it a good one of those. All right. Take our gun, set it off to the side. All right. And then this is the next important step. So we have our sealant like this. Now, I know this looks like it might be complete, but it is not. So this is the most important part. We're going to take our finger, and this is called beading, not B-E-A-D-I-N-G. All right, beading the gutter, or beading the seam. So we're going to take our finger right here, and we're just going to flare it out like this. And what this does is it allows the water to flow over the seam instead of, sit behind it or get underneath it. So when we do this, it acts like a ramp for the water almost in a way. And like I said, it allows the water to flow over the seam and around it instead of trying to get behind it. So we're going to do like this the whole way up, seaming it. All right. You can go back down, give it a few more, but it's going to look something like that. All right. Now you're still not done. You're going to flip the gutter around and point it this way at yourself, and you're going to do the same thing on the back side. So take your finger, all right, bead all this out like that. All right, and if you can't bead it in a spot, that probably means you don't have enough sealant in there. So when you get done, your finished product should look something like this. All right, so you're gonna have your sealant, and we're gonna have it run out, like I said, both sides like that, and both sides like this. And you can see that the water is not gonna be able to slide underneath anything. It's just gonna go right over it. And yeah, that's about it. That's how you attach and seal an end cap.